started sharing my screen. Please let me know if you guys were able to.
Yep.
Yeah, great. So um, there were in yesterday's class we learned something about there were actually to speak four different kinds of techniques been available uh, to store the data of a person. One way is you are passing the request as the first request. Again, whenever returning the response back to the browser, that time we're adding some hidden fields. So in the second request, along with the second request fields, we're adding the hidden fields also and sending back to the server so that the server is can able to retrieve them and it can able to use. But the disadvantage of this one is we are unnecessarily been adding the fields so that the network traffic will get increased. So unnecessarily we're adding these two fields, so that's why they thought do you have any other way? Yes, there is a concept called cookie. So cookie is a small kind of an object where the server is going to store that particular object in our browser. Okay, by default it will exist until the session of the uh, that particular um, request exists. Whatever the request that he logged in, until the session exists, that cookie will exist. Once the session is over, it will be get closed. That's by default. Okay, or otherwise we can able to set the maximum years of that particular cookie. Let us see how the server is going to store the cookie in our browser. Okay, first of all, I have taken one simple servlet here. Okay, HTTP servlet example file. Let me see the configuration in the web.xml. Yes, we need to call HTTP one. Yes, okay. So whenever I'm going to call this particular servlet, this servlet has to store the cookie in my browser. Okay, so that it can able to use it later. Okay, so that it can able to use it later. So let me try to create the cookie. How to create a cookie? Okay, cookie c1 is equal to new cookie, and we need to pass the two values for this one. One is key, another one is value. Okay, consider I'm considering this as a cx. Okay, x is the value for this cookie. Okay, and then now let me try to add this cookie by using response. In the response there is a method called add cookie. For this one we need to add this cookie. Okay, now I have stored this cookie. That's it. Okay, this is the creation part of a cookie, and this is where you can able to add this cookie to the response, so that when we hit the server, when this particular server is getting executed, okay, at that time first it will create the cookie and that cookie is added to the response. So when it is respond back to the browser, okay, when it respond back to the browser, it will carry this cookie to the browser, and in the browser it is going to kept, until the session exists, this cookie will exist. I will show you where and all. Okay, let me try to start this project first. Run on server, finish. So it is started. Let me try to use my own browser instead of this one. Now HTTP1 is our right. Now when I hit this, what happened? That servlet is executed. Okay, that servlet is executed. Inside the service method there is a part to create the cookie and add it to the response. So I hit the server, I executed the servlet and carried response back to the browser. Okay, means my cookie is created, but still where is it? I'm not even able to see, right? Okay, you need to use some tools, either existing tools with the Mozilla or Mozilla Firefox or Chrome, or otherwise you can able to install see, I have installed the Firebug. Okay, Firebug. This is a small tool where you can able to see the HTML code, CSS code, all this. Let me go to see. Just I have started here. And let me go to the cookies. Now here I'm not able to see, right? Now cookie name is CX, value is XXX, and domain name, my domain is by default localhost. That's the reason it's going to take the domain. Otherwise, it is going to whatever the domain name. For example, your domain name is xyz at the rate of xyz.com, something like that. It will store as like that, okay? And it's going to show the size and the path. And see, when it is going to get expired, once my session expires, that time it's going to get expired. Otherwise, it will exist. Let me try to do one thing. We close this, open once again. Okay. See, by default, this cookie is not there. Okay, because I closed the browser, means session will be closed by automatically. Whenever if the scope is session, I mean until the session exists like that, means expire time is session. So whenever you close the browser, automatically these cookies will be get deleted. Okay, automatically these cookies will be get deleted. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to make these cookies to be stay for a long time, then you need to take this cookie c1 dot set max age. Okay, and here you need to provide the expiry time. So based upon that, whether it will exist 1 hour, 2 hour, 10 hours, 1 year, 100 years, whatever the time that you choose. So set max is the function where we can able to. And if I want to make this cookie as a secure cookie, okay, I think we don't have any such functions. There is a different technique where we can able to create the cookies in other ways by using add header, set header also. Right now, okay, it's not been required. Okay, just for time being, it's required is like how to create the cookie and how to add this cookie to the browser. Okay, that's more than enough for now. See, I have created one cookie. Let me try to create multiple ones. Okay, C2, C3, CY, CZ. So name is CY, value is YYY, and third cookie name is CZ, and value is ZZZ. Okay. Now cookies are been available. If I want to send the response back to the browser, then what I need to do? I mean, when I'm sending the response back to the browser, if these cookies has to be added in the browser, means what I need to do?
Add.
Yes, exactly. Response dot add cookie, whichever the cookie, for example, C2, and response dot add cookie C3. Okay. Let me stop the server. Start it once again. Run as, run on server, finish. Let me go to the browser. See here, you guys were able to see three cookies
Mhm.
were been added: CX, CY, CZ. Right. So the expire time is up to the session. Okay, it will be there until the session exists in my server. Okay. Now, so how to retrieve the cookies from the browser? Okay, how to retrieve the cookies from the browser? Okay, now we'll create one simple. Let me try to create another one. HTTP2. Okay, HTTP servlet example 2 sounds like this. Okay, or otherwise we can able to write it here itself so that you can go to the next example. So how to read the cookies. Now in the first example I shown you how to save the cookies, right? Now these cookies are been available in my browser. Okay, now I need a technique to read the cookies from the browser. Okay, we try to create another servlet. Let me override this method in second servlet. Okay, here let me try to write a program to read the cookies. Let me try to take the print writer. Response dot bit writer. Okay, if c is equal to null, ew dot write no cookies received, else oh, dot oops, print writer dot So now we're trying to print this in the second one. So HTTP2 is the one. Okay. Okay now. Let me stop the server. Yes, it is stopped, and then start it once again. Run on server. Finish. Okay. Now I have taken the two servlets. One servlet is for creating the cookies, and the servlet is for reading the cookies from the browser. Okay. Let us see from the first servlet. Yes, I have created the cookies. Now I can able to see all these three cookies, right? Now let me try to read these cookies from the second servlet. See here, can I able to read these cookies from the
Yeah.
second servlet?
Yeah.
So how these are coming? Actually, by using the first servlet, I have added. Okay, we are clear at here at this point. Okay, and we went to the second servlet. Means I have changed the URL to HTTP2. Okay, when I hit the HTTP2 URL, what happens? First it went to the server. From the server it will go to web container to this particular servlet. Which servlet? HTTP servlet 2. Okay, now it is going to call the method called service method. When it comes inside, okay, this is a common one where we can able to use the print writer to print the values. Okay, and then see here in the request, HTTP request, see HTTP servlet request, there is a method called get cookies. Okay, there is a method called get cookies. Okay, if you have any doubt, let us do one thing. Let us go to the API HTTP servlet request API. Okay, let us go to the API and see what is the description of this. Yes, there were like many methods are there. See here in the request there is a method called get cookies method is there. So what it is going to do, it is going to return the list of cookies of like an array. Okay, it is going to return the list of cookies just like an array. Okay, so that is the reason what I did. First I have created one array with a zero reference, and then here for this one I have assigned the request.get cookies, so that now in the C the list of cookies have been available. Okay, this is a common condition where you should compulsorily be in check. Okay, that's the reason I'm checking if C is equal to null or not. If C is not null, then go to the else block. Now in the else block I have written some piece of code to iterate through the number of cookies, because C of 0th position first cookie is stored, nothing but consider this one. Okay, C of 0th position, and first position this cookie is stored, and second position this cookie is stored. So that's the reason I'm trying to iterate through number of cookies, and I'm trying to print the name and then value. Okay, so this is the way that we can able to get the cookies from the browser. Okay, got an idea?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, then now we'll do one thing. We can start working with the program, real type program. Okay, so let us start from the yesterday's class. We have having how many JSPs? Three JSPs: register JSP, register one JSP, store JSP. Okay, so in the registered JSP, first I'm trying to ask him, please create one username and password. Okay, so that he's going to enter. Now when you click on submit, okay, when you click on submit, what happens? It will go and hit the server, and it's going to call the servlet called register1.jsp file. Right, now instead of writing as like this unnecessary hidden parameters, so that it will be like keep on transferred between the server and client, I will use this cookies technique. Okay, so let us write cookie c1 is equal to new cookie Okay, we'll use these request.get parameter because this is the way that we can able to read the values right from the first request. So let me try to keep this, and then cookie c1 is equal to new cookie. So name is username. You can give any name. Okay, there is no rule to say you should compulsorily bin give this name. At the time of reading these cookies from the browser, please remember this name. Okay, I'm putting as username and the value is username. Okay, and then cookie c2 is equal to new cookie. I'm giving some password. Okay, and then value is password. Okay, just so this is just an identifier name and this is the value. I got the value from here. Okay, as I'm calling request.get parameter, right? So from here I got the value because we are in a second page. Second page means how you're going to read the first request object by using request.get parameter that we seen yesterday, right? So cookies creation part is done. Now let me try to add these cookies. Tell me now what I need to do to add the cookies back to the browser.
Response dot.
Can I use res?
Yeah.
Sure. No,
Uh,
we should not
the
use.
implicit object we have.
Yes, implicit object full name is re, not like shortcuts response like this we should add. Okay, because implicit objects are prepared by web container, not us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
C2. So once this part is executed, for okay, first what we are getting, we're trying to get the username and password from the request of the object, and then I'm creating the cookies, and then third step I'm trying to add these to the browser. This is a normal page where in the second page what you are trying to display. Okay, now so let us see, start the server. If it is not started, yes, run as, run on server, click on finish. You guys install the Tomcat in your Eclipse or you faced any problems?
I did not do. I will do it.
Yeah, please. Let me try to remove all. Okay, now click on register. See, by default it is going to create some JSession ID. Okay, we'll discuss about this in later classes. Just remember this. Okay, right now I'm in the register.jsp file, right? Give some name called Durga and password 123456 and click on submit. Now it will go and hit the register1.jsp. Okay, in normal we'll get the first name, last name, email ID. Along with that, inside the browser these two cookies are added: username Durga and then password 123456. Okay, now when you please add the values of first name, okay, and then click on submit. What happened? I'm still not able to read the first two values, but still I can able to read the last three, right? What is the reason? We didn't write the
Yes.
code. Yeah, yes, Ari. We didn't write the code to read the cookies, right? So we need to write that piece of code to read the cookies. Okay, first what we need to do, we need to create one array, right? And after that For this, get the total cookies, all the cookies from the browser. Request dot get cookies, so that I got all the cookies now. Okay, now my duty is I need to iterate through, right? And I is equal to 0, I less than c dot length, because this is an array, right? So we can able to use length function. Okay, and then I plus plus. Okay, now if c of I dot get name dot equals, okay, username, okay, then read that particular value. Let me try to take some strings here. String username, okay, and string password. Now, so username is equal to c of I dot get value, okay, and write the second condition same as the first one to read the password. So what is the name of this cookie? Password name is small case password only. Okay, now write it as like this. Now here assign that value. Done. So now these are stored at here, username and password, and then by using this I'm trying to print the values. Okay, now let us see the program. Now stop the server and then start it once again. Finish. Now let me go back here, start from the starting. Let me try to remove all the existing cookies first. Yes, so I'm giving username as Durga. No cookies are present now at this state, where because we are at register page, starting page, and then I'm giving the password. Click on submit. So when we reached the second page, by the time it read the cookies and stored in my browser. So now these username and password are stored in my browser. Okay, along with this normal fields are displayed. Now let me give some normal first name and last name. Now click on submit. 500. Let us see what is the problem. Okay.
I think the string should be initialized to null,
Um.
the toString, because that's what the error is saying.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, I think that it has said also below the same thing. The password may not have been initialized.
Um. Okay, these are the local variables, right? Okay, got
Yeah.
If the instance variables, no need to initialize. These are the local variables, so we should compulsorily.
Yeah.
Run on server, click on finish. Now give the first name and then XYZ. Click on submit. Great. This is the username and this is the password and the last three values. First name, last name, and the email ID. Okay. See here, Durga and username and password are read from the cookies only, right? So
Yes.
advantage of the cookies is whenever you need, just you can able to store those cookies in your browser. Okay, you can store in the browser and you can keep it in the browser, no worries. Okay, after some time, whenever in particular page you require the username and password or whatever other fields from the cookies, so you can read it from the browser. Okay, you can read it from the browser and then you can able to show them here. See. So in the first page, what I'm trying to do, it's a normal page. There is no piece of code for the cookies and anything. So here I'm trying to write the fields, and after that, when I click on submit, first case, I need to read them by using normal request.get parameter only. There is no other way to read these values. Okay. Once you read, store them in a cookie, and then for the response, add them. So not only in store.jsp, you can read those cookies from anywhere. Okay, if you are present in the same application, I'm saying don't go for the out of the application. Okay, if you are present in the same application, then only it will read. Actually, to speak, internally what happens whenever you call, right? Whenever you call the request.get cookies, how it is going to call? For example, consider this browser is having some cookies, and this browser, let me try to open any other browser. Let me see here. See, Google is having many other cookies. See here, Google is having many other cookies, right?
Mm.
Okay, but why it is not reading all the cookies? Whenever I call the request.get cookies, okay, whenever I call the request.get cookies at here, okay, why it is reading only the username and password? Why it is not reading the other browser cookies?
Maybe based on the tab open.
No, it's not like a tab. No. See,
Because we are not printing them.
sorry.
Is it because we are not we are not retrieving them and printing them?
Okay,
Mm,
let me try to write some other piece of code so that your doubt will get cleared. So let me try to print at least the names. Okay, so now let me stop the server because it has to be cleared. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of doubts in future. Now come back here from the starting. Let me try to clear all the cookies. Yes, I and you click on submit. Second one stored the same. Let me try to enter A B as of last name and then email ID and then click on submit. Why still I'm reading only these three? See here. So it read the JSession ID, username and password. Means JSession ID, username and password. These are the only these three fields it read. Here I'm using the out.println, right? This is what displaying here. Okay, out.println. Okay, this is what displaying here. Okay, this is the first cookie and this second cookie and third cookie. Why it is not reading the other cookies? Like here many are there, right? DV, AP, SID, something, SID, many are there, right? Why it is not reading? Why it is reading only these?
Maybe it is getting only for this session.
How
Request
it is
for this request.
how it is going to figure out this session? For example, if the particular request is coming from the browser, how it can able to get to know, yes, this is, I mean, for example, this is a Vijay or this is a Yari or this is a Lakshmi. How it is going to figure
Domain
out?
name.
Domain name will be the common name for all, right? See, domain is a
Hmm.
local host.
Okay.
If it is the same application, domain is the common for all, right?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, server is also going to use the cookies concept here. Okay, whenever you click on the first request, server is going to store one
JSession
JSession
ID.
ID. Exactly, it is going to store one JSession ID with some value. Okay, so it is going to link up the user to the server. Long back you asked me one question, right? How the server is going to recognize me?
Yeah.
To recognize you by using this JSession ID. Whenever you hit on the request, for every request object, it will carry the field data. For example, if you have any fields like first name, last name, or email ID, like that field data, along with that it is going to carry the cookies also. With every request, I'm saying, with every request it is going to, if you have any fields, it is going to carry the fields. Along with that, it is going to carry the cookies also. Okay, every request is going to be like having these cookies. Whenever you are sending some request from your browser to the server, yes, that particular request object is having these cookies also. So that's the reason anywhere at any point of time server can able to read your cookies in any serverlet, not like wherever you initialize it, there only you should need read. No, not like so. Wherever it is required, it's going to read from anywhere else. Okay, so how the server is going to figure out you are the XYZ person? Okay, means by using the JSession ID. First, this particular JSession ID is stored in the server. Okay, okay, with the ID called session ID. Okay, ID called session ID, and it is going to store this session ID in your local browser with the name JSession ID. Okay, with the name JSession ID. So whenever you are hitting, that request object is carrying this cookie also. Means name is JSession ID and the value is whatever the value the server stored. So it is going to match up this value to the server session ID value. Once it got matched, then it is going to figure out, yeah, this is this Vijay person, this is Yari person. Okay, this cookies belongs to Yari, this cookies belongs to Money, or this cookies belongs to Lakshmi, like that. It is going to figure out as like this. So that's the reason we can able to store the personalized data also. I mean, how the server is going to manage the personalized data is like by using this way only. Okay, JSession ID is the important one.
Can you repeat it again?
Okay, okay. So let me try to clear these cookies first. Okay. Now we are at register.jsp page, first page, right?
Uh-huh.
Now click on enter. Actually, in the first page, we are not adding any cookies, but someone added one cookie in our local, in our browser. Who is that? Server.
The
Server.
server.
Server is the one which added one cookie in our browser. Okay.
Okay. Question. Like when
Yes.
you hit URL for the
Mm-hmm.
first time,
Mm-hmm.
so we are sending a request to the server. So
Yes.
at server side it creates one ID by itself, and it
Yes.
stores that ID there, and it's same ID it stores in browser.
Exactly. How it is going to store? By using cookies concept.
Cookies concept. Okay.
Okay. Server is also going to use the cookies concept. By using the cookies concept, it is going to store that particular name and value in our browser. Along with that, it can able to store the session expire time and security, all these some other parameters also there. It is going to send all these parameters also along with this cookie.
Okay.
Okay. Now second time onwards, whenever you add the fields, okay, see here, I went to the second page. Did my session ID get changed? No, right? Did you observe that session ID changed? No, it wasn't
We
changed.
didn't have.
Okay, I will show
Okay.
you once again. Okay, let me remove the existing ones. Okay, now go here, click on enter. Observe this something 38D6, right?
Yeah.
Now add some key and value, something like that. Now click on submit. Is this changed?
Ah,
No.
no,
Same.
now it's not changed.
It's not changed, right? So why it is not changing? Means every request it is going to the server cross verifies the ID. Okay, and based upon the ID it is going to figure out, yeah, okay, this is this person. Okay, this person IDs is matching here, so this is the personalized data of this particular person. So that's the reason whenever in the final page, whenever I'm trying to call the request.get cookies, okay, whenever I call the request.get cookies, I'm going to get the cookies of this particular one only.
Registration ID.
Yes.
I have a question here.
Yep.
So we are telling like our cookies are binding with this session ID, correct?
Exactly. Not
Okay.
cookies are
Like this.
binding with this session ID. It is going to figure out our browser cookies by using this JSession ID. Okay.
Yeah, like something like, is it like address in the browser? Because in that address we can have like a hash map, right? It has
Mhm.
like a key and value, and it has something like address.
Mhm.
Is something similar like that? Like registration is ideal as a memory address in browser.
This is not a memory address in browser. This is a memory address in a server.
No, but oh, just the cookie here.
Just a cookie. It's like key value pair, name and value. That's it.
Okay.
See, in order to
So
recognize the particular person is going to use this key value. That's it. Okay.
okay.
It never stores. I mean, actually, who is preparing this ID? Server. And who is
Server.
storing this ID and value? Server. Right. We are not doing anything. Just in our browser, we are storing that cookie as a cookie. That's it.
Okay, server side also your username and value stored.
No, in the server it never stores. So that is the reason cookies concept is okay. We should not store these values in a server side unnecessarily. If you store all these values in the server side, what happens? For example, if I have 1 lakh users, consider I'm having 100 cookies. 1 lakh into 100. How many objects it will be get created? It's like unnecessary wastage of memory in the server side, right? Server side it is going to store only this particular JSession ID. It never
Okay.
stores the cookies.
Yeah.
Whenever it is required, it is going to read these cookies from the request object.
Yeah. With that session ID, how it is going to recognize?
Okay. In the coming concept, I will tell you what is a session. Okay. Session is going to have one ID. Okay.
Okay.
In the web container itself, whenever you started the interaction with the server starts one session object for you.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay.
in that session object it is going to have one ID, right? That particular
Mm-hmm.
ID is the one which is stored in your browser.
Which is registration ID.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. My question is like with the registration ID,
Hmm.
how it is going to figure out our username and password, because binding the concept I didn't understand, like binding, like how that username is binding to this ID, session ID, session ID.
Okay, understand. These cookies are binding to this particular session ID in our browser only. Okay,
Okay.
Whenever we're clicking on next button, what happens? It is going to pass the JSession ID along with that this particular session, whichever the cookies are binding.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the way it's going to figure out. From the
Mm-hmm.
browser itself, whenever you click on the next button, I mean whenever you're requesting for something, okay, it is going to pass this request object to the server, right? In that request
Yes,
object
correct.
itself, it is going to pass this JSession ID cookie, and along with that, with this JSession
Mm-hmm.
ID, it is going to bind with this username and password. So
Okay.
it's actually been scripted in our browser only, not the server side.
Okay.
So once it reaches the
Yeah.
server is going to have only these three. Actually, server didn't recognize, like, server didn't figure out all this from the browser itself. Actually, two ways are there. In order to reduce the burden on the server or network traffic, what the people did, like, in the browser itself, they written a piece of code.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, what happens? All the cookies will be get transferred. For example, here are some cookies, some other tab is there. See here, how many cookies are there? All these cookies has to be get transferred to the server. Again, server is going to filter out them. It's like a lot of hectic, right?
Yes.
And network traffic also is too high. That's the reason in the browser itself they written this piece of code as a script, okay, to filter. So
Okay.
that's the reason, whenever if any updates are coming in the Java or .NET or all these HTML JavaScripts, people ask, like, please upgrade your browser also. Okay, browser is also runs with some script, right? This is our client
Mm-hmm.
program, everything is our client program. Okay, browser is called as this client program runs with some script. Okay, whenever if new updates are coming in the HTML or CSS or any Java or like this, okay, they will ask, like, please upgrade your browser also. There is a W3C consortium is there. Okay, that is the one which handles all these browsers. Okay, means
Okay.
it it keeps all the things to be get updated. For example, Java developed some piece of code. Okay, Java developed some piece of code, but if the browser is not responding that particular piece of code, it's like waste, right? So that's why Sun Microsystem or now Oracle will go and approach this W3C consortium. Okay, so this is what the update we did. Okay, so make the updates in your side also in the API level. So when the W3C updates the API level updates, then automatically these browsers are the ones which implements the W3C API. Okay, they will take that particular update. Those are, like, in-depth concepts, better not to go. Okay, right now whatever you had is more than enough.
Okay.
Still doubt, Vijay?
In the same way, like, like Apache people went and they told, JSON ID should be stored at the browser level, something like that.
This is a kind of a contract between all these organizations, Vijay, actually. Okay, all these people
Okay.
are under this W3C consortium. Okay, if anybody is implementing a new script or new item, new component, whatever it is, if something is working in Mozilla and something is not working in IE or Chrome, will it be acceptable? No,
No.
because nowadays users want, like, their website has to be working in all the browsers, IE, Chrome, okay, Firefox, wherever it is, it has to be work in all the browsers. It will be like, it should work only in IE, not like so, right? So that's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like in kind of an, like, group of people, all these group of people make it, I mean, if they're taking a new decision, they were going to have a meeting. In that meeting, they're going to discuss, this is what the update that we did. Okay, this will helpful for the users, and this will reduce the network traffic, or this will reduce the server burden, and this is the advantage, this is the
Okay.
disadvantage. They will discuss about all these. Once they were happy, then W3C consortium will say okay. If that is okay, then all these browsers has to implement the script for that one.
Yep.
Great. Okay, so now we are good at now. So as usual, there should be some disadvantage with this concept also, right? Just like a hidden concept. So the disadvantage is, in the browsers, sometimes we can able to disable the cookies. Okay, if you go to the configuration, there is an option to disable the cookies. Okay,
Yeah.
if you disable the cookies, then what happens? All this will work.
No,
It
the
will
user
not
does
work.
not know whether cookies enabled or not.
By default, it will be enabled. Okay, by default this will be enabled whenever you download the new browser and install in your local system. Okay, it will be enabled.
Mhm.
But if you don't want, you can able to disable. Okay, if you go to the options, every browser is going to have its own option, okay, to disable the cookies. Okay,
Okay.
there you can able to disable the cookies. Then if the cookies are disabled, then there is no option for you to store these cookies in your local browser. Then what is the problem here if it wasn't stored? No use of
Data
our
won't be
logic.
carried.
Yeah, no use of our logic. If you try to store those cookies in your browser also, browser never accepts to store the cookies, right? So no use of your
Yes.
logic. So this is also been not acceptable, right? So that's the reason. Third one is the session concept. Means instead of
Mhm.
storing the data in your local browser, store this data in a server itself.
But we decided right not to store at the server level.
That's what I'm saying. Multiple options are there. See, right now people are using these cookies as well as using the session concept also. Okay, I will tell you what is the difference between and in which position you need to take a, I mean, in which scenario you need to take the decision. I will tell you. Okay,
Okay.
depending upon, for example, if there is a personalized data is there, like username and password, you don't want to store these kind of information in a cookies, right?
Yeah,
Then,
browser
then
level.
at the time, what I need to, where I need to go for hidden concept is also not good because if you right click and view source, there also I
The
can able to
source.
see the username and password. That is also a correct one. Cookies also not correct one. Then
Uh,
their session concept comes.
server.
Okay.
But the network overload will be high.
No, first time only it will be get stored in the, there is no network overload burden on the server
Yeah,
because
but then as well, that's
yes, server has to store all these data, right? Personalized data, right? So
right.
burden on the server. Okay. So we'll discuss about all these in the next class. Okay, more about this. Okay,
Okay.
two more techniques are there. Okay, session and session with URL rewriting technique. Okay. Any more
Okay.
doubts for till now?
I have
Explain.
a doubt.
Yeah, yeah, Vijay.
Yeah. Uh, when we give like action in the like in HTML, we
Mm-hmm.
give the action right
Mm-hmm.
slash some JSP name.
Yes.
So actually, when we calls particular JSP,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and
Mm-hmm.
when we click enter,
Mm-hmm.
internally it will display all the fields on the JS like browser, and when you submit,
Mm-hmm.
and it will redirect to the respective page, right?
Yes, exactly. For example, which are the
Okay.
action that you are choosing. First, when I
Yeah.
ask
Here.
for register.jsp, it will be get displayed. Okay.
Yeah.
When I enter the data and click on submit, now my data will be carried towards this register1.jsp.
Yeah. Here is my question. Like,
Yes.
uh, so when we submit, actually the first request the listened by the JSP container, right?
Mm-hmm.
So JSP container is the one which will look, so since it is JSP, so I need to convert this JSP to the servlet object. Like
Mm-hmm.
JSP will be converted to
Yeah,
underscore
yeah,
servlet, right?
yeah. Okay.
So it reads like, oh, since this is JSP, I need to convert to servlet,
Mm-hmm.
and then the request objects given to the service method, right?
Exactly. Servlet service method. Yes.
Okay.
So what's your doubt
That's
here?
the question. Like, yeah, that's the question. Internally, we are not directly calling JSP, but internally, servlet container
Okay. I
converts
understood.
and
See, in your perspective, it is a JSP. Why they created the JSP is just for the developer. Okay, reduce the burden on the developer. I mean, make him to feel free to write the piece of code. Okay, instead of writing all
okay,
these init method, service method, servlets, Java code, restarting the server every time, all this nonsense has to be. They want to like remove all these nonsense kind of a concept. So that's why they introduced the JSPs. Okay,
okay,
so for that again they created one more container called JSP container. JSP container is going to compile
JSP
and
container.
create the servlet, and that particular servlet is again given to the servlet container.
Yeah,
Okay,
got it.
servlet container is the one which is going to manage all these.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, any more doubts?
I'm good.
That's all. It's clear. And thank you for coming 30 minutes earlier for all
Okay.
of you.
Actually, I was
Yeah.